Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin is on the air. Brought to you by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Oak Park Place, offering senior living options with a lifestyle you deserve with amenities and services for a carefree, independent way of life. Wild Rock Golf Club. From 5 sets of tees and expansive greens, it's a course set up to embrace a challenge for scratch golfers to resort guests. Also by Zimbrick European. Why drive something ordinary when you can drive something extraordinary? University Ridge Golf Course, a public course that offers something for players of every ability and is the home of the Badgers men's and women's golf team. And by the Alzheimer's Association. Now, here are your co-hosts for Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin, Dennis Tiziani, who's a member of the Wisconsin Golf Hall of Fame, and longtime Madison sportscaster Paul Brown.
Welcome to another round of Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network. From TPC in Wisconsin, along with Dave McCann, Dennis Tiziani, I'm Paul Brown, and on the show on this edition of Talking Golf, Matt Lohmann is here. He is with Wadsworth Golf Construction Company, the project manager involved with the shaping of the golf course. We're going to get into that at about it was 10:10 this morning when we taped the show, and it'll also be broadcast tonight, of course, live at 6 o'clock. Also, Mario Tiziani is going to be on. Mario's Dennis's son. He's got a full plate of stuff. He's a sports agent. He's involved with the Stricker Foundation, the AmFam tournament, and he just happened to play down in Iowa.
Yeah, he is. He's
over
doing
the
good.
Weekend. He's got a lot on his plate, doesn't he?
And he's doing good. I know he's starting around 5:30 every morning and getting his stuff going and getting it done, but he's handling it really well. Plus, he's got, 2 daughters at Arizona State going, and
they're into equestrian or something, aren't they?
Big time, yeah. Well, she won the Canadian National Championship 3 years in a row in horse show stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, they're pretty good. He had some talent.
Well, he played pretty well over the weekend.
He did. He had that a little bit of a muff that he had there in the second round with that bogey and double bogey on a par 5. Otherwise, you take 3 strokes, he's finishing in the top 10, So he's doing really good.
Well, and also a couple of Madisonians did pretty well in that golf tournament. Steve played very well. But Jerry Kelly won another tournament. It's his 9th on the Champions Tour.
Yeah, he's doing good. As you know, he's a favorite of mine. Also, I like that his family life is what it is, and he did some putting. He and Steve did some putting together.
Everybody's wondering. Nobody really gave an explanation as to how he helped him.
And neither one of them could tell you either. But, they've reinforced one another. But at that stage, Jerry Kelly led the tour, in short game for a long time, the big tour, not just a little tour. So when you lead the tour, you were never a bad putter to begin with. But all of a sudden, maybe they hit on a couple of things, and putting's a will, as you know. And maybe his will changed a little bit, and all of a sudden he thought he was better than he was, and next thing you know, he wins a tournament.
And here I thought we were going to get the scoop on exactly what he told him. What do you suspect they talked about or did?
Well, I noticed that when he was putting, and I see it on TV, that his whole core moved when he hit the ball. So just a matter of staying a little bit steadier through impact, made the blade stay square to the left a little bit better. He has a tendency to do a short stroke where he hits it and falls. Nicklaus did that same story. But if, in fact, when you make that hit on the right side of the ball, if it's not square, then it could go either way. Then your confidence goes. But
the only thing Jerry kind of said in the post-round interview was he had mentioned that him and Steve had talked and that kind of thing, and he said, but the bottom line was I was more patient. What did he mean by that?
Well, that's just it. We have a tendency, no different than, a person shooting free throws or shooting long-distance guns. They putt on the exhale. So if you putt on the exhale, that's that patience. And you do that there, 1, 2, 1, 2. So the rhythm is right. He has a tendency to hurry up the hit it, or had a tendency. And now being a little bit patient on the way towards the ball helped him out a little bit.
But I tell you, Steve continues to play very, very well. Again, what was he, 13 under for the tournament?
Yeah.
So he's consistently playing very well on the Champions Tour.
Well, it's kind of fitting, you ever see how many 9 irons and wedges these guys hit?
Yeah.
Well, that's his strength. Plus, he drives it in the fairway. He's a good wedge player, and he's a good putter. I mean, come on, he'll get better. He'll be in good shape for this tournament here.
And coming up, of course, this coming weekend, the AmFam tournament, and back to a full tournament with all of the activities and the fans and everything else. They
do a great job. It's a great AmFam does a great job in taking it from stem to stern. Nate and his crew do wonderful, not just during the tournament week, but all year long preparing for this. I mean, how many tournaments have all these activities going? I mean, all week is pro-ams, and they're full. And the Brett Favre and company.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Jeter's coming.
Yeah.
Julie Inkster and Andy North.
Yeah, and Julie Inkster is coming. You know, I just gave a lesson to Jim Lemon's wife. I just got done just an hour ago. She's going to be caddying for Julie Inkster. I used to watch her when she was an amateur years ago. Was a great player then, good player now. Captain for not the Ryder Cup, but the Solheim Cup, and she does good with that. So she's really given back and quite a leader. And then to have this musical show at night, I've been to that a few times. Phenomenal.
That's your music. Country music is your
music.
Oh,
yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, you know, they've got Red Solo Cup. My boy was there. He'll come back again one day. But from stem to stern, start to finish, you know, is very good. They do just a great job.
A couple of other notes in golf over the weekend. Billy Horschel won the Memorial, the Jack Nicklaus Memorial Tournament. $2.16 million for him. And the U.S. Women's Open Golf Tournament was won by Minjee Lee. They paid $1.8 million. It's the biggest prize, or the 1.8 in women's golf.
And we'll start competing with Liv now before too long. I'm
going to ask you about that a little bit later.
Okay.
There's a big name that surprised some people, and Dustin Johnson, who's decided he's going to play over there. Huh?
Well, that's okay. You know, he's on the downward spiral anyway of what's happening. You got so many young players that are coming in, but the money's going to attract them. There's no doubt about it. But so the tour will have to go ahead and do better. So sponsors will pay more, or the charities will get less.
And one other note on the regular tour, a record was set over the weekend. Max Homa, 99 putts, which is the fewest ever.
Yeah.
Well,
at that course, that's really saying something, because that's the toughest place to putt.
99 putts.
It's a tough
4
place
rounds
to putt.
Wow.
But the other side of the coin is, you know, is he missing greens and chipping up and then one putting, or how's he doing that?
Still 99 putts.
I get it. But the point is, if you're going ahead and recovering from bunker shots rather than hitting greens. Now, if he hits 80% of his greens and has 99 putts, now we're really cooking, you know.
Speaking of greens, they're being redone, as well as the golf course here, and Matt is going to join us in a couple of minutes. We're into what you call the shaping phase, and we're going to go into exactly what does shaping mean.
Yeah.
There's a lot of activity going on out on the golf course.
Yeah, there's different shape than you're thinking, you know. I mean, round is a shape, you know.
We'll be back after this timeout on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
Watch PGA Tour champions, including tournament host and Wisconsin native Steve Stricker and two-time defending champion Jerry Kelly at the American Family Insurance Championship. The annual tournament makes its return to University Ridge Golf Course in Madison, Friday, June 10th through Sunday, June 12th. Visit amfamchampionship.com for more information and to purchase your tickets now. Again, that's amfamchampionship.com.
After 60 years, Cherokee Country Club is now officially known as TPC Wisconsin. Right now, the course and the clubhouse are going through an extensive renovation. When the project is complete, TPC Wisconsin will have a course, club, facilities, and services that'll be second to none in the Badger State. Members will not only have a challenging experience playing the course, but they'll enjoy fine dining experiences and award-winning golf instruction. For more information on becoming a member at TPC Wisconsin, call 608-249-1000. That's 608-249-1000.
This is Paul Brown for Oak Park Place. Oak Park Place Memory Care Communities provide seniors and their loved ones peace of mind. Residents find purpose in their day through a success-oriented program focused on meeting residents where they're at on this journey with Alzheimer's or other forms of dementia. At Oak Park Place, loved ones find comfort and connection through caregiver support groups. Oak Park Place Senior Living with locations throughout Wisconsin. Visit oakparkplace.com to learn more.
Wild Rock Golf Club in the Wisconsin Dells, a Herdston Fry masterpiece, is one of the premier golf destinations in the Midwest. Wild Rock provides a true test of your skill, combined with some of the most stunning vistas you're ever going to encounter on a Wisconsin golf course. Download the new free Wild Rock app. It's a true game changer and lets you stay up to date and receive special promotions regarding all things Wild Rock. Bring your A game, folks. The Rock is waiting for you. Visit wildrockgolf.com. wildrockgolf.com.
Hi, this is Matt LePay, voice of Badgers football and basketball. At this very moment, there are more than 198,000 individuals in Wisconsin serving as caregivers for a loved one living with dementia. Connect them to support through the Alzheimer's Association's 24/7 helpline. One call, thousands of answers, all free of charge. Call 800-272-3900 today. This message made possible through the generous support of Oak Park Place.
Watch PGA Tour champions,
Back at
including
TPC
tournament host
Wisconsin,
and Wisconsin
Talking
native
Golf
Steve
Golf
Stricker
Effect
and
Radio
two-time
Network.
defending
With
champion
Dennis
Jerry Kelly at the American Family
Tiziani,
Insurance
Paul
Championship.
Brown, Matt Lohmann is with us.
The annual tournament
Matt,
makes
welcome
its
to the
return
show.
to University
Project
Ridge Golf
manager
Course
of
in
Wadsworth
Madison,
Golf
Friday,
Construction
June 10th
Company
through Sunday,
out of,
June 12th.
Plainfield,
Visit
Illinois.
amfamchampionship.com
You
for
guys
more
have done an
information
awful
and
lot
to
in
purchase
terms
your
of,
tickets now.
construction of golf
Again, that's
courses including in the
amfamchampionship.com.
state of Wisconsin. So
Why
just go
drive an
through a few
ordinary
of them,
car
Matt,
when
and
for
then
the
we'll get
same
into
monthly
specifics
payment
here.
you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
Personally, yes. In the last 10 years, I've done some work at Lake Windsor. I'd redid the bunkers at Hawks Landing and University Ridge over in Verona. My father actually designed the course at Bishop's Bay, and I've done a little bit of work at Bishop's Bay Country Club as well. And now I'm here. So I've been in and around Madison a lot.
And we'll talk specifically about the project here, but Dennis, from your perspective, why this group? Why was that decision made?
Well, we were trying to do, what we did was try to get the best we could in every area, whether it's Leibold, whether it's Houston, whether it's this group, and get the best we could so that we wouldn't have any shortcomings. I didn't want to get to the point of this kind of an investment and then have maybe not inferior, but we wanted the best. And that's what we got here. I go back a long ways with his father, and that had a lot to do with it also, that usually acorns don't fall far from the tree, you know. And in this particular case, it happened, and we're really happy with it, moving along pretty much on schedule, even with all the rain and stuff. But this group has a way and all these groups that we're talking about have a way to adjusting to an adversity, so we stay on track. Now, whether it's getting more people or it's a short way of doing some things is good, but we're really happy with what's going on so far.
Well, and let's kind of break it down here. What a phrase Dennis has used, and maybe, Matt, you could explain this. Dennis talks about right now we're in the shaping phase of this remodeling project. What exactly does that mean? Let's start there.
So shaping, for a lack of a better term, it's when things start to take shape. And what we do is we use bulldozers and skid steers and some excavators to fine grade the details. And Steve comes out weekly or bi-weekly to work with us on those to get the fine grading complete before you build all the infrastructure inside of the features.
Now, you mentioned, Steve, this is a first-time project for him. How's it been working in that type of thing? How have you found Steve and his involvement?
It's been great working with him. It's tough because this isn't Steve's full-time job. He has a full-time job and then comes out here in between tournaments to work with us on the details. So it's been going great so far. It's been a lot of fun, and the project really looks wonderful.
Let's kind of break it down a little bit and talk about one of the key things, the mining on site of the glacial sand. Kind of explain exactly what that means and what you guys have done.
It's very unique. A lot of projects these days, they want to do firm and fast, and in order to have that, you got to have some kind of sand medium in the fairways, and the greens and tees are typical, have sand on them. You would spend hundreds of thousands of dollars trucking that sand in, and I believe at some point with their engineer, they did some test holes and noticed that there was a lot of sand on site, 15, 20 feet deep below this golf course. So the RG Houston had mined a lot of this sand and stockpiled it, and then we're going to spread it on the fairways at 12 inches deep and kind of blend it off on the edges to create not only firm and fast conditions, but also help with interior drainage.
And when you talk about rebuilding the fairways, maybe you two can talk about that. Not only the sand, but additional dirt was added. So for people that have played Cherokee and now, are we talking that things are maybe 2-3 feet higher than they normally were?
Yep, 2 to 4.
Yeah, a little bit more contour in the fairways than before. So yeah, for sure.
And for example, how much sand, if you talk about 12 inches of sand on 18 holes of golf course, that's an awful lot of sand and dirt that has been moved around here.
350,000 cubic feet.
Yeah,
cubic yards, have been moved. And, the cost significance is, if you did that on a regular basis, you brought it in, you'd pay, $12 to $18 a square foot, a yard to do that. I think we got ours at is $680. So, there's a significant difference in what we did. Again, doing the research, getting the right people who do the business of flipping, is what they call it, taking that muck out, flipping, getting the sand in, and getting the muck back in.
What kind of crew have you got in here, Matt, in terms of your total involvement in what you're doing?
So currently we got about 12 guys on site. Houston also has many people here. They've taken on a few of the things that we're used to doing, some drainage and some dirt moving and some cart paths. We do that as well, but they're kind of taking on that. But our crew is about 12 people, and right now we're just focusing on building all the features, all the tees and all the greens, putting the interior drainage in, and then when we get closer to grassing this summer, we'll bring in some more people for bunkers and grassing.
Where are you in the process right now? At what stage are you? For example, some of the greens you can already kind of get a vision of what they're going to look like.
Yeah, so as far as we talked about shaping, we have about 16 or 17 of the 18 greens shaped, and then Steve's coming back next week to look at the last few greens and tweak those. We're building greens right now, so we have 6 greens with drainage and the 4-inch gravel blanket layer installed with the liner around it. And we got about 4 or 5 holes worth of tees where the back tees are built with drainage in, just waiting for sand.
And we're chatting with Matt Lohmann from Wadsworth Golf Construction Company. And in terms of when you talk about drainage and that kind of thing, what does that mean and what has changed from what was here before you guys arrived?
I can't imagine there was a lot of drainage here. Very wet site, very peaty site. And when we put drainage in the fairways, it's anywhere from 4-inch up to 12 or 18-inch with catch basins to get the water into a pipe and below ground, as opposed to across the ground, across the fairway. And in the greens, we have 4-inch pipe that's 15 feet on center in a herringbone pattern. That's encased in gravel, and that's part of a USGA green with 4 inches of gravel and 12 inches of mix on top. So that's the infrastructure that we're building now in the greens. And then the tees, the back tees, we've kind of V-ditched the back tee with a line of drainage in there, and then that'll get 5 or 6 inches of sand on top of that.
You mentioned greens. Is there certain specifics that are required by the PGA Tour and TPC and that kind of things? No,
but we call it a USGA green. So the USGA came up with this many, many years ago, like I'd mentioned, with gravel. Pipe with gravel and then a 4-inch layer of gravel and 12 inches of sand. So that's what we're building out here, is we're kind of using the USGA specification. Dennis, you've talked a little bit about this, but there was extensive work done with the DNR in terms of the water and the drainage and that kind of thing. Can you put into perspective the big difference that people are not aware of what it was versus what it's going to be? Well, I keep telling you that the DNR did a great job with us. They worked with our team and gave us ways how it could work. Our group is very good also, and we provided an out for them so that when they make a decision on something that maybe was controversial in the past,
made it so that now it's really good. And they're very active in what we're doing, all the way from how much surface water we can have. You can't have a whole lot of leak, to the runoff, to what's going to happen in the impervious areas. From stem to stern, from an environmental standpoint, and I've told you 100 times about this, that's where it all started, on an environmental basis. And when Matt talks about the muck and the things that improper drainage, we were at the mercy of the lake level. Whenever they felt they should raise the lake level, then that hurt us. Lower the lake level, and then we had some animal structures that hurt us a little bit too. But DNR was extremely good, continue to be. They're sticking to their guns, so to speak. The rule is the rule. There's not this business of where we bend the rule, but we make it so that we can fit within that. And they've been very good in helping us get to this point.
Matt, what were some of the challenges? You've been involved in many, many projects over the years and that kind of thing. What were some of the challenges that was presented to you with this property?
First off was the weather. Last year we had a drought this time of year, so what goes up must come down. It rained almost all of April, but even worse was it warmed up in late February, early March, which is bad when you're trying to move dirt and get stuff done on frozen ground. We're typically used to working on frozen ground, so that was a challenge. And then, like Dennis mentioned, just the existing soils here are very, very heavy and very wet.
And when you have a vision, I'm sure, being in this business and this kind of thing, you can see what potentially is developing here. What's your thoughts on what the finished product is going to look like?
Oh
here?
Man, it's going to be outstanding. I've been a part of many of these, and it's headed in a really good direction.
I mean, what would be the positive things that you're seeing?
As far as the actual construction,
sure. Yeah.
Being that they're capping it with sand and improving the drainage, it's going to make it a lot more functional. I can't imagine what this place was like after a rain event when they're trying to play golf out here. It's going to be a little bit more playable sooner with the infrastructure and the cart paths and the fairways. From a functionality standpoint, it's going to function a lot better as a golf course.
Dennis, your thoughts on so far where we're at in this whole process?
Well,
you start to get the vision of what it's really.
Well, you can now, and the other side is there were no holds barred in making this as perfect as we could be. And Steve and I talked about it many times. You cannot cut corners here. It's got to be as good as it can be. And he was doing it from our standpoint. I was doing it for his in a little bit, and that this is really his first course. I mean, you get one time to make that first impression. But now he's setting the goals. I mean, if you're going to do this thing that you're going to do it. You're not going to put rock on, you're going to put granite on. You're not going to just put soil on, you're going to sand top. There are not very many courses I know that are sand top dress, maybe Sand Valley, because it's all sand to begin with. But when you sand top dress, now the shaping is different, the playability is different, the firmness of the fairway is different. I mean, if you wanted to, after a while, you could cut the greens to a height that you could putt on them.
Matt, one final question, then if you've got any final thoughts, that would be appreciated. But you use the term grassing window. Why don't you explain exactly what that means?
Yeah, not people that aren't in the golf industry don't understand that there is a tight grassing window in order to complete this project. A lot of people think you go out, you build a hole, you put irrigation and drainage in, and then you grass it, and then you go to the next hole. Well, our grassing window is about 10 weeks, and it starts around August 1st and goes to about the 15th of October, sometimes earlier than that. Being that we're a little bit further north in the Midwest here. But so we have a 10-week window where we have to grass this entire golf course from start to finish. And the weather plays a big part in that. So we're gearing up to get all of our work done. So come end of July, we're ready to rock. And we have a small window to do it, and it's going to be a lot of work hours, and we're going to hold our breath for the weather. It's usually pretty nice here in late August, early September. So that when we talk about grassing, we know that's the big finish we're preparing for.
In other words, the big challenge of doing the entire golf course, grassing it in that short period of time. Briefly, how does that work?
Well, you got to go in and get the bunkers built and all the finish grading on the tweaking on the greens and tees. And then we're going to put some solder on those features and prep everything perfectly. and get it ready for seed. And then when you seed it, you put down grass seed and then some kind of erosion control, whether it be hydromulch or fabric blanket to protect it in case of any rain and help it grow a little bit quicker.
And Dennis, from your perspective, if you were cutting grass as early as September, you probably wouldn't mind, right?
Be really good. Faster we can see green out there, the better. You can see you get tired of seeing the dirt, but you really have to appreciate how much dirt was moved here. And it was moved from soil on the property. So they did a great job. Everything that was said and we agreed to, everybody's done. So hopefully it'll be green here in September.
And that will help, too, in terms of people really getting a vision of what this place is going to look like.
There's a number of people they trust what we're doing and they joined early. There are a number of people who trust what we're doing, but they want to see the outcome. I don't blame them for that. I mean, all I'm saying is hurry up, because as soon as that happens, and it's happening already, the calls and the number of people that were signing up, we're going to get to that 250 pretty fast. I can tell you that.
That's the total membership. Matt, any final thoughts from your point of view?
No, I get excited about the shaping, but the grassing, like he's talking about, that's where things really start to look like a golf course, and everyone gets really excited. So we're excited to get to that point, and I always tease my guys and say we got to get done before football season because
that's
we're not
right.
going to hotels.
That's right.
Matt, thanks very much for joining us on the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks, Matt. Yep.
We'll be back after this timeout on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
Really good.
Watch PGA Tour champions, including tournament host and Wisconsin native Steve Stricker and two-time defending champion Jerry Kelly at the American Family Insurance Championship. The annual tournament makes its return to University Ridge Golf Course in Madison, Friday, June 10th through Sunday, June 12th. Visit amfamchampionship.com for more information and to purchase your tickets now. Again, that's amfamchampionship.com.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
Sculpted by glaciers and played by champions, University Ridge Golf Course is the host site of the American Family Insurance Championship and UW golf teams. The Ridge is a public golf course and it's yours to play without a costly membership. University Ridge is now accepting advanced reservations for the entire golf season. To get your prime tee time reserved, call 608-845-7700 or visit universityridge.com. Play where the Badgers and the pros play. University Ridge.
Oak Park Place offers seniors and their loved ones peace of mind by providing you the right balance of care centered around their lifestyles. Hi, this is Pat Richter for Oak Park Place. Choose a senior living community with neighbors that become like family. Enjoy the comforts of your apartment with an abundance of events just outside your door. Oak Park Place Senior Living with locations in Madison, Janesville, and Baraboo. Visit oakparkplace.com to learn more.
This is Gary D'Amato, senior writer for Killarney Golf Media and Wisconsin.golf. Visit Wisconsin.golf for the latest in golf news and feature stories about people, places, and tournaments in our state. And listen to Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin to hear me spar with Dennis Tiziani. Wisconsin.golf and Talking Golf on the internet and on your radio dial. The voices of golf in Wisconsin.
And we're back on Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network from TPC Wisconsin, along with Dennis Tiziani. I'm Paul Brown, and joining us now is Mario Tiziani, Steve's representative, his agent. Mario is also playing now occasionally on the Champions Tour, finished 8 under over the weekend. Of course, involved very extensively with the AmFam tournament, and is involved with the Stricker Foundation and TPC Wisconsin. Mario, I don't know what you're doing in your spare time.
Yeah, I tell you what, I think as I listen to all that, it reminds me of who my father is. I guess you just need a lot of things going on.
You're like a chip off the old block in that respect.
That's
Huh?
right.
You got to have something to do.
Yeah, I never thought of it until I just listened to all that, and I'm like, well, I guess I became my father.
And you also play golf like your father did, and 8 under for the tournament over the weekend down at the Tour Champion. How would you evaluate your performance? You got to be pretty pleased there. Things starting to look up, huh?
Yeah, I'm happy. You know, I made some mistakes. I left some out there, but I guess everybody can say that. But no, it was good. I feel like I'm getting closer, more comfortable. So I guess the fact that I'm a little disappointed, left there unfulfilled, underwhelmed is a good sign.
What are your goals in terms of playing, Mario? Would you like to play regular, or how are you looking at this whole thing?
You know, I think it's I'm evaluating as I go. I think I've said before, I want to be competitive. I don't want to be a middle of the field guy. I know that those finishes happen, but you know, I'd like to see some high finishes and know that I can compete to win. I know I need some reps to have that, and I'm getting some, so I should have a good body of work that I can evaluate. And I guess if I thought that I could be really competitive for 5 or 6 years, I'd play full time. And I still think I could do the other stuff that I'm doing too. So it's just kind of a wait and see, and make sure I'm prepared so that I can evaluate accurately to see what I'm going to do.
Dennis, obviously I've been around you guys for a long, long time. You consistently, over the years, have always insisted, and one thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, that you've said about Mario, in terms of pure ball striking, he's as good as they get.
He is. There's no question about it. And he hit it. He needs reps to go ahead and take that. And as he gets, from when he was a young guy, I mean, he followed about his dad the same way, you know. I didn't become better until I got older, where his mental age catches up, you know, his chronological age catches up with his mental age, and that's where he's getting to now. It happens sometimes real early in the 20s. You know, sometimes it goes a little bit later, 30s, 40s, even 50s, and that's where he's at now. I'm really proud of what he's doing to be able to do all the stuff, and the biggest item is that, you know, the family that he's raising, and you know, they're people there. He's got 2 daughters out at Arizona State now. He spent all that time with them to go ahead and not push them into golf. They got into equestrian, that type of thing. All that was good, and he was very supportive in that. You know, he's a good dad. And now what he's finding out is that, okay, they're on their way. Maybe it's time for me a little bit. And he's putting a little bit more time in himself. And I'm looking for kind of big things for him, not to put any pressure on him, of course, for this weekend, you know, and going forward.
You're talking about Mario is going to be playing in the AmFam tournament.
Yep.
And so you've got Mario playing. You're going to have Jerry Kelly, a 2-time defending champion, of course, Steve. And Mario, who's on your bag this weekend? Is it going to be Bobby again?
Well, I think I've got both Bobby and Izzy, which will be fun. Bobby's got some stuff that she has to do, and Izzy's going to fill in. So yeah, I'm looking forward to having them both. It'll be fun.
And let's talk about the AmFam tournament and how that thing has progressed over the years. Now, obviously, everything's back at full strength. From your perspective, you've been involved in it since its inception, so to speak. What are your thoughts, Mario, on how all of this is going? Obviously, it's becoming one of the top events on the Champions Tour, if not the top event on the tour.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty cool to see. You know, I've had a chance to talk to some of the guys even last week that are coming, and some that aren't, that just couldn't make it. Ernie has a graduation. And so, you know, they're disappointed they can't be there, but, you know, some guys, it's their favorite stop. It's, you know, they're taken care of well. The caddies are taken care of well. They're just kind of all the touch points are there that maybe you don't see at other events. And Nate's done an amazing job. American Family's a great title. You know, they're motivated to make it the best. You know, Steve as the host is heavily involved, you know, on the player side to make sure that we're doing everything that makes them feel important. So I think all of that is incredible. Obviously, the charitable part is why we're doing it. So it's bigger than golf, really. But I think the community's embraced it. Madison's just a perfect city to have something like this. We don't have pro sports right here in town for the most part. So I think everybody's just kind of embraced it with the concert and everything. I think it's running full steam ahead.
And one thing that we haven't talked about much in the past, Mario, and you mentioned it, it's all about charity. Let's talk a little bit about the Steve Stricker Foundation. Kind of go through that for us. And what is it? Over $12 million has already been raised at this point?
Yeah, I'm not sure the exact number. It's, it's certainly, I mean, Nikki and Steve would tell you they're passionate about it. They're thrilled to be able to have this platform to give back. And it's kind of stayed close to home too. It's community right here in our backyard. And, you get to really talk to the people that are impacted and the people who run these charities and these non-for-profit. I think that is really, really cool component of what we're doing here. It's a significant amount of money going to the hospital right in our backyard, and then really just right here in the community. Those dollars are super impactful, and to be able to do it every single year and be able to keep these not-for-profits going is I just know it's super gratifying for them.
And you talk about Madison, Wisconsin, and Jerry Kelly wins the event over the weekend. And Mario, I'm going to ask you, I asked your dad, the media tried to get the answer as to what Steve did in terms of a tip for Jerry Kelly in terms of putting, and nobody wanted to seem to answer that question or get a feel for it. What would you expect or suspect that they may have talked about a little bit? Dennis talked about. Go ahead.
No, yeah, I suspect it's something they've talked about in the past. I mean, it usually is. They've played so many team things together, and I didn't ask either, but yesterday we were all together, and it sounds like it was just some things that Jerry got sloppy on, with tempo and things like that. Some body movement like Jerry has, right? I mean, yeah. Maybe that just got out of whack, but I think it more than anything, I think it gave him something to focus on. Maybe it just kind of quieted his mind a little bit of, all right, look, I'm just going to stick with this one thing. And sometimes as golfers, that's all we need is one little thing and a little bit of confidence. I mean, it seems like, the distance, once you get some confidence, the distance to winning seems to be real small once you get that confidence.
Where are you in your game? What's maybe the one thing that you feel you need to improve on to get into that upper echelon on the Tour Champions and that type of thing and compete every week if you do that?
Yeah, I don't think it's physical. I think it's mental that gets in the way of my physical at times, like anybody, I guess. I've kind of come to my focus is I don't want to I'm okay with physical errors. I don't want to make mental errors, but usually the mental errors causes the physical. So I guess it all boils down to, negative thoughts are entering always for me. I don't know if it's like that for everybody, but I just got to try to not let it manifest and let them come and go and then get back to execution. Maybe that's a little deep. I don't know, but I think about it a lot. I know what I feel out there. I know when I make mistakes. And so it's just kind of getting over the mental part of, letting the mental hurt my physical capability where it just kind of hurts my momentum. I mean, that's really what happened this week, kind of off to a good start and ultimately did some things that kind of sabotaged my round. But the good thing is I felt like I bounced back and recuperated. So it didn't last long, which I guess is a positive I'm taking from the week.
I'm going to have a little fun here just for a minute. What does the old coach think when he hears something like that? What
Well,
would you say, not just to Mario, but anybody?
Well, he's doing the right thing. You know, all good players have a short memory. I mean, you get into it, you made your mistakes, learn from those mistakes, and you move on. But what he's talking about is nothing more than we talk about. He needs the reps to go ahead and do that, because already he's getting more positive things than negative things. He's able to rally after making 2 holes there, but he played 52 holes that were pretty good and could have been better. So I think it's pretty good. I'm happy to see that he's playing, and I'm happy to see he's doing a little bit on his own here, where he's off and he's doing his own thing.
Mario, I wouldn't expect you to remember this, and it leads me to, I want to talk a little bit about TPC Wisconsin now. You obviously wouldn't remember this. I do. It's probably 40 years ago. You and I played 7, 8, and 9 together. I caught up to you, or you caught up to me. I don't remember. You're probably 10, 12 years old, and you hit it 30, 40 yards past me at that point. My point is, though, that you've been involved in this course all your life and that kind of thing, and now it's TPC Wisconsin. What does that mean to you, and what are you thinking about as this whole thing gets developed?
It's gonna be fun to just see it as brand new again. I mean, the bones are still there. They'll always be there mentally for sure. I know that's where I grew up, and it's changed so much since those days, honestly. Just the trees and the creeks, how they've grown in, and I think it's just going to be really exciting to have all new grass, drainage. I think the biggest pit in the stomach for my entire life was, if we were getting a rainstorm, because you just knew the course was going to struggle. And I think, being able to wake up and see it raining and be able to shrug that off, as silly as that sounds, I think my dad would agree. It's going to be nice to know that, you know what, we're still going to be able to play golf today and tomorrow and the next day, and be able to take all that it can from a rain perspective. And I don't think it's gonna matter. So I think just having all of those, components of the golf course, to, from watering to drainage to just not fighting, old grass, all the things that seem to just, it's like a Band-Aid to get the thing so we could go play it. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a really high class property, from when you drive in to when you leave. And I think, the north side of Madison needs it and deserves it. And I think it'll be super fun to be a part of it.
You travel all over the United States. You see a lot of the different golf courses. You play on them and caddy on them and those kind of things. In terms of TPC Wisconsin, what's your vision that you can present to the person that's listening to this and maybe even wants to become a member, of what this potentially is going to look like in relation to other TPC courses?
Yeah, I think it's going to be, the service component's going to be paramount. I think you're going to feel very special when you come there with you and your guests and your family. It'll be a very structured place, just from the fact that you're going to have access to the tee sheet. You're going to have the private feel. You're going to be taken care of, and everything's going to be, as you would expect. And I think traveling around, seeing other places, hopefully I can bring some of the things that I see at other places, or we all see at other places, that can work, that are needed, the members like to see. The staff is going to be great. It's going to be a considerable step up from any course that maybe in the state, maybe in the Midwest. So there's a mission statement there, and we'll uphold it. It's going to be perfect. It's going to be what everybody wants from a competition standpoint, all the way to just playability and family atmosphere.
Mario, thank you for your time. Good playing over the weekend, and all the best in the future with all your endeavors. Thank you
very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, see you.
That's Mario Tiziani, and we'll be back after this timeout on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
Watch PGA Tour champions, including tournament host and Wisconsin native Steve Stricker and two-time defending champion Jerry Kelly at the American Family Insurance Championship. The annual tournament makes its return to University Ridge Golf Course in Madison, Friday, June 10th through Sunday, June 12th. Visit amfamchampionship.com for more information and to purchase your tickets now. Again, that's amfamchampionship.com.
After 60 years, Cherokee Country Club is now officially known as TPC Wisconsin. Right now, the course and the clubhouse are going through an extensive renovation. When the project is complete, TPC Wisconsin will have a course, club, facilities, and services that'll be second to none in the Badger State. Members will not only have a challenging experience playing the course, but they'll enjoy fine dining experiences and award-winning golf instruction. For more information on becoming a member at TPC Wisconsin, call 608-249-1000. That's 608-249-1000.
Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a must-play every golf season. Wild Rock Golf features championship golf in the heart of Wisconsin. Wild Rock, a Herdston Fry masterpiece that's cut from the natural beauty of the Wisconsin Dells and offers stunning views from elevated tee boxes. Wild Rock presents spectacular greens that roll fast and true. Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a unique gem that offers a challenge to avid golfers of all abilities. Book your tee time today for this must-play at wildrockgolf.com, wildrockgolf.com.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
Hi, this is Paul Brown, longtime Badger sportscaster. My wife was only 57 years old when she started having trouble remembering things at work and getting lost driving home. That was the start of a heartbreaking 8-year journey that led to her eventual passing from Alzheimer's. Please don't ignore the 10 warning signs of Alzheimer's. Find information at alz.org/Wisconsin. This message was made possible through the generous support of Oak Park Place Foundation.
Watch PGA Tour champions, including tournament host and Wisconsin native Steve Stricker and two-time
subject here now, and talk about the AmFam Championship coming up this weekend. Tickets remain available at amfamchampionship.com. 81 players will be here this coming weekend, and some of those are Bernard Longer is here, Fred Couples is coming, Furyk is coming, Davis Love III, Retief Goosen, Colin Montgomery, Vijay Singh, and first-time guys like Stuart Appleby, David Duval, Jose Maria Olazabal is coming, and 16 players with PGA Tour Championship wins since 2021. 7 members of the World Golf Hall of Fame are here, including Couples, Duval, Longer, Tom Lehman, and Vijay Singh. 13 winners of the Masters, the U.S. Open, the Open Championship, and PGA. And you got six recipients of the Payne Stewart Award, and, of course, the local favorites in Jerry and Steve. That's a pretty strong field coming here.
They really do. It's really it's indicative of the feeling they have towards honoring Steve for what he's doing, and AmFam and the tournament they're producing. I don't know how many players drive around in Mercedes. Did you know that?
That's one of the few tournaments where they do get that.
Yeah, they get a Mercedes. So the player is treated like he's special, which they are. And I go the other way on some of this, I don't want to get controversial, but we have a closed shop here. There are a lot of players out there that are in the senior category.
Who could be playing or should be playing.
Steve Alker,
yeah.
Mario Tiziani. These are people that should be playing, and there's a number of them out there. So I'm hoping that somewhere along the line that maybe that field can be expanded to, doesn't have to be at 80, and it can be at 90. I'm hoping that along the line that more revenue is put into that tournament. Like I said, I don't want to be controversial, but I also know that there's a lot of players out there, that should be playing.
Let's talk a little bit about a few golf tips here, things that happen to the 9 out of 10 people that play golf. And David had one that he wanted to ask you. And basically, when he's around the green, David, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but basically, if I took your question correctly, when you're around the green, be it 10 yards off or whatever, he probably doesn't realistically have a good feel or thought for what he should be doing in terms of chipping. What would you tell people that feel that way?
Well, you've got to convince them, first of all, that the feel that you're talking about is the feel with your footwork. It's being able to use the ground and use your footwork to make the ball go rather than to hit it. The worst thing you can do around the green, putting and chipping, is to what's called hit the ball, hit the back of the ball. You'd be more concerned on follow through. You'd be more concerned on using your footwork and little or no hand action. Little or no hand action, more rotation than being able to hit the ball. It's very difficult, especially in a tight situation, to hit the ball consistently. But using your feet, much like we use the analogy of shooting free throws, right? Shooting free throws is not about the hand action. It's about how you use your feet and how you use your toes at the free throw line. Same thing here. And you'll notice that all good chippers, they use the ground and both feet are on the ground when they're chipping. So they're using it. It's not an upper body move. It's a lower body.
What advice would you give for people that think that buying new clubs is the answer to getting a better game? And you can pay $400 or $500 now for a driver, and you hook it, you slice it, you can't get it in the fairway.
Yeah.
You go to a range and you bang balls, and you don't even have an idea what you're trying to accomplish to get the ball in the fairway. What do you do?
We know we have that. It's not the arrow, man. It's the person using it. Now, you got to admit, the technology is fabulous. But most of that technology is in the ball, not so much the club. I think that person should get fit. But one thing that you should be doing when you do get fit is what kind of ball reacts with the club that you're using. Because the ball reacts different. It's a different spin on the ball, a different trajectory on the ball. And getting fit is a big item where you can look at those numbers. However, that being said, most people are getting fit with the swing that they already have. So you're fitting a club to maybe an imperfect swing. Do I say that you should go out and try to get a perfect swing? No, but I think you should learn the fundamentals and the basics first to know what has to happen and then get fit. I think that's important, that you should get fit. With the cost of the club and stuff like that, it may be a one-time deal for some people, spending that kind of money for the club. But there is a definite improvement in the technology of that club.
You and I have known each other for a long time, and I have one move in golf that I've probably done for 40 years. You know exactly what I'm talking about. I get compared once in a while to Jim Furyk because my elbow flies out.
Right.
And after all of this, I've played golf for 50 years. That's
Right.
not going to change. For the person that has something in their swing that they've been doing for years, can you change it, or do you?
Sure.
What do you do? For
Sure.
example, what would I do to change that?
Well, first of all, you're left-handed. We should change that.
Yeah, you can't do anything
Okay,
about that.
all right. That's the big item. But the power of your left-handed swing is in your left arm. You need to make sure that your left arm comes to straight at the ball. Right-handed player, the right arm comes to straight. It's when your right arm comes to straight that your right hand rotates. And it's the rotation of your right hand that rotates your left. In your particular case, when your elbow is behind you, you have a difficult time to straighten it out. So you'll notice at address that in your case, your left elbow is right in front of your left hip. Right-handed player, at address, the right elbow is in front of the right hip. It needs to be there at impact. Now I'm going to give you a drill. Okay, you put your ball down like you're going to address the ball. Mm-hmm. Okay, then get rid of your club, grab another ball. Put it in your case a left hand and right hand if it's a right-hander, and take your grip with the ball in your hand. Now make your backswing, and then on the way towards the ball, throw the ball that's in your hand at the ball that's on the ground. And then you'll start getting to In your case, your left arm's going to come to straight. So it's a little bit of a drill that you have to do. You have to hit the ball. In your case, you'll probably hit maybe 2 feet behind the ball. Right? We want to go ahead and get same thing with your right arm. So now, in order for your right arm is going to come to straight.
I'm going to do that.
Yeah. Do it on the side so people don't laugh at you. But
we'll be back after this timeout on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
Watch PGA Tour champions, including tournament host and Wisconsin native Steve Stricker and two-time defending champion Jerry Kelly at the American Family Insurance Championship. The annual tournament makes its return to University Ridge Golf Course in Madison, Friday, June 10th through Sunday, June 12th. Visit amfamchampionship.com for more information and to purchase your tickets now. Again, that's amfamchampionship.com.
Sculpted by glaciers and played by champions, University Ridge Golf Course is the host site of the American Family Insurance Championship and UW golf teams. The Ridge is a public golf course and it's yours to play without a costly membership. University Ridge is now accepting advanced reservations for the entire golf season. To get your prime tee time reserved, call 608-845-7700 or visit universityridge.com. Play where the Badgers and the pros play. University Ridge. This is Paul Brown for Oak Park Place. Oak Park Place Memory Care Communities provide seniors and their loved ones peace of mind. Residents find purpose in their day through a success-oriented program focused on meeting residents where they're at on this journey with Alzheimer's or other forms of dementia. At Oak Park Place, loved ones find comfort and connection through caregiver support groups. Oak Park Place Senior Living with locations throughout Wisconsin. Visit oakparkplace.com to learn more.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
This is Gary D'Amato, Senior Writer for Killarney Golf Media and Wisconsin.golf. Visit Wisconsin.golf for the latest in golf news and feature stories about people, places, and tournaments in our state. And listen to Talking Golf on TPC Wisconsin to hear me spar with Dennis Tiziani. Wisconsin.golf and Talking Golf on the internet and on your radio dial. The voices of golf in Wisconsin.
And we're back on Talking Golf along with Dennis Tiziani. I'm Paul Brown, and Dennis got a couple of minutes left. One thing on the tour, Kevin Na has resigned from the PGA. And apparently the reason he did that, he still will be eligible for his pension.
Right.
Dustin Johnson has decided that he's going to play over there. What do you see developing here? Could that be a new way of trying to get around potentially what Na's doing, or is he just saying I'm not going to play in the PGA anymore?
Well, he won't be able to.
Okay.
I mean, that's the way you get it out. Resign, no different than leaving a business, and they're going on to something else. But both of those guys are on the downward side of what's going on. So is it wrong for what they're doing? I don't know. You judge the size of the tour player today by how much money he makes.
Those pensions are pretty big, aren't they?
Well, that's my point. You know, they spend all the time now moving on somewhere else, but that's the way it is. But, you know, the nice part about this tour, they come and they go. So some of those guys...
The PGA is always going to be there.
There's always going to be there. There's players that are playing on that. Stephen Alker's a good, you know, this guy played on a Sidewinder tour, and all of a sudden now he's winning everything.
Yeah.
And you're going to get new players coming up, you know, that are already there, and they're winning tournaments, and there's going to be more of them as it goes on.
And so it's going to play out. You think it'll wind up in court eventually?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it will. You know, I just think that we'll see how long that they can continue to put up this kind of money, so to speak, and see how long this... This has been going on for a long time. Greg Norman's been trying to do this for 100 years. Finally, he's got enough people behind him, he might succeed in getting another tour.
We'll watch the development. In the meantime, I hope you're going to go out to the American Family Insurance Championship. That's coming up this weekend. There's a great field in town, and hopefully we'll see a battle between Jerry and Steve down the stretch. And Steve will pick up that challenge and beat Jerry for the first time
I don't
here.
know.
Along with David McCann, Dennis Tiziani, I'm Paul Brown, and we're out of time for this week. Another round of Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network. So long from TPC, Wisconsin.